What's up YouTube? Slight Duelist back at it again with another deck profile. This time we're looking a little different, as you can see. We're on YuGiOh Pro because I don't own physical cards. Also because this uses cards that aren't out yet in the TCG and they barely came out in the OCG. Also this is going to be a way, we can push out more deck profiles for you guys because we can't own copies of every card. That's kind of asinine to think of. So going forward, when we can, we're gonna start using YuGiOh Pro and maybe Dueling Book to put out some deck profiles using cards, and that'll also let us look into the future and see cards that are coming out here, within the next 6 months. I don't think I'm gonna use any cards from sets that aren't confirmed for TCG, if you get what I'm saying. Like this uses a card from Dark Neostorm, so that's why I'm including it here. Well, forewarning, this isn't usable until Dark Neostorm, but oh man, can this deck, do what it needs to do after that. So as you can see from Big Boy in the corner, this is Bujin's. Bujin's is a deck I've been wanting to cover and talk about for a very, very long time. And, 2014. Bujin's was a powerhouse. The Kaiser Coliseum, just this huge protect the castle type of deck, where just get your Yamato out there and start building up all your resources and doing what you need to do. And Kaiser went, the deck just disappeared. But we have this new card. What is it called now? A Spell Mining Cave. Now Shout Out was the old name. It sounds better. So we'll get right on into this. We'll talk about what's going on here, how I think Bujin's can do in the future. This is a discussion video as well. Alright, so we have 17 monsters, 13 spells, and 10 traps in this list. Of course, triple Yamato. You have to play triple Yamato. He is the cornerstone of greatness in this deck. Once returned during the end phase, add a Bujin from your deck to your hand, then send a card from your hand to grave. It's the simplest shit. You can only control one of them. Yamato is one of the best monsters ever made. He's definitely one of my favorites. Eventually I'm going to look into picking up this deck max rarity. I love Bujins, even though at the time I hated playing against them, but I love Bujins. 2 Kurume must be special summoned by banishing a Bujin, and then if it is destroyed after being summoned that way, both players, let's see, what does it say? You can discard one card, then your opponent discards one card. Okay. So you force your opponent to discard a card if it dies. 1 copy of Mikazuchi. When a Bujin is destroyed, you can special it during the end phase if a Bujin monster was sent from your hand to the graveyard during this turn. You add a Bujin spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. I only play 1 in this list. Every list that I've ever tried out has only ever played typically 1 to 2 of any Bujin spells or traps. I don't see a point in them anymore. How the game has evolved, these 1 turn, 2 turn games. Bujins is a very, drag the game state out kind of deck. Those are the Beast Warrior Bujins. Known at those. We have 3 Bujin Turtles, so during either player's turn, when a Bujin is targeted, you can banish this and negate that effect. Targeting goes on and off in the game. It is relevant and it is not relevant at the same time. Stuff like Titan doesn't target, but then you got shit like, Sky Striker cards that target. Afterburners targets a monster, Widow Anchor targets a monster. Those can stop that. So it's off and on. I could see him going to 2. I could see both him and Hair going to 2. But I feel it's safest to have him at 3, just in case. Moving on, then we got 3 copies of Hair. Hair, same thing during either player's turn, banish, and a Bujin cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects once during this turn. So it can protect you from just pretty much anything that would be destroying stuff. So your opponent goes Titan, activate effect, and then you chain this and protect your Yamato, and they have to pop something else. like I said, I could put both him and Turtle down to 2 if something ever happened with Bujin, but I don't think they're gonna get any support anytime soon. You know, they got Haruko, Hirume, I don't remember her name. Haruko, the pendulum monster. That was good for a little bit, but we got it way too late, so it didn't matter. So we got 2 copies of Quillen. If you control a Beast Warrior Bujin, you can banish it from grave to pop a face-up monster, right? No, face-up card your opponent controls. So, I know a lot of old lists play maybe one Quillen, but I like 2 Quillen. Just to give that extra power. It's that the deck is lacking in it now. I feel like the deck lacks that little bit of power that it needs, because let's be real, you're gonna be sitting on fucking Yamato just twiddling your thumbs most of the time. If you're lucky, in all of my test games, I didn't draw Yamato once. Not one time. And I never saw it, like, any of my spells help me dig. Like, it was bad. But I digress. Last monster he placed triple copies of Crane, double original attack of Bujin. You know, simple stuff. Very good card. You can play 3 Honest in here as well, and, you know, do Honest, then Chain Crane. Just disgusting. That's gonna be it for those. Spells, you play triple Card of Demise. Simple. The deck needs a little more consistency going forward, because it is really... Now you don't have those 3 turns to dig for Yamato, you have to dig for Yamato in 1 turn. The 1 Bujin Carnation. This is the only one I play. If your opponent controls a monster, you control a monster, you target a Bujin in your grave, and one of your banished Bujin monsters, and you special bolt of them. And they cannot be used for an Xyz summon except for a Beast Warrior or a Winged Beast type monster. So, basically a double Monster Reborn, but it's a lose more kind of card. You have to be in the position where you're absolutely losing, pretty much, to do this. Because if this deck does what it wants to do, you're controlling your 1 monster, and he's never leaving the board. And your opponent has to play around the shit that you set up. Triple Fodder Duality. Special summoning is not a big thing in this deck. It wasn't a big thing in the deck back in the day because you wanted to sit on Yamato and Kaiser. But there are times where Duality can hurt. You could possibly play Pot of Indulgence, the new one, over this, because you don't really need the extra deck from what I've seen. And Indulgence, I don't believe, locks you out of your special summons or anything like that. It just gets rid of random cards in your extra deck that you may or may not need on occasion. Triple copy to Tenki, search for Yamato, gain that extra 100 attack. Sometimes that extra 100 attack is all you need. Like, it's... Alright, now we're on to the meat and potatoes. So this is Kaiser Coliseum 2.0. So this is Spell Mining Cave, which is field spell. And it reads, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, your opponent cannot activate monster effects or declare attacks. If you control more monsters than your opponent does, you cannot activate monster effects or declare attacks. Once returned during the end phase, if you control the same number of monsters as your opponent, destroy this card. So, like I said, effectively, it's Kaiser Coliseum. This card, it forces your opponent to play around it. In all the games I had, every time this got put out, they immediately had to change their game plan. I played against a Cosmo deck and against a Cyber Dragon deck, and the Cosmo deck ended up using all of its resources. They ended up with 1 card in hand and nothing on field to get rid of this card. It took them that much to get rid of it. I feel like this card, even though it was just revealed, it's already forgotten. People have not paid attention to this, and I think this card is... It's criminally underrated, for what I believe. I think that this is definitely something to keep an eye out for, especially going forward. Lots of slower decks will be able to abuse this card, and with you know, Metaverse existing in the game, this card is a very, very good card to just slap out on your opponent and prevent them from doing anything. Alright, that's it for the spells. For traps, triple torrential, I know it kind of goes against Protected Castle. The entire trap lineup is interchangeable with other stuff. You can play pretty much anything else you want. I feel like the only one that you should play is Metaverse, because this deck, the win con is get Yamato and protect him. So this helps you protect Yamato, and this helps you get this. I feel like this is better to spring on your opponent than to activate and, you know, have them just look at it and be like, oh, okay. I feel like it's better for them to commit to the board already and have what they have, and then do it, and then lock them out of any further plays and have them sit there with bricks, because if they go any further and get more cards, well then it's like, well shit, I can't activate my monster effects. Yeah. The triple Metaverse, bring that out, and then a solemn package is what I wrote in here. 2 strike, judgment, warning. Simple stuff. Extra deck is kind of just pieced together. There's a bunch of random bullshit in here. One Azathoth and monster effects. Same thing, same principle as this. You're never gonna really go into half of this shit. The only one that honestly, Exciton is probably the only card you'll go into in this entire action. One Amaterasu, one Kagasuchi, 2 Susanoo Will, 1 Tornado Dragon, Baguska, the Exciton, Tsukiyomi, Nyarla to go to the Azathoth. And for links, we played Phoenix, and Akashic, Cerberus, and 2 pint-sized Priest. Hidaruma. So this card is also criminally underrated. A lot of decks do not play this card, but this card is honestly really, really good. And it's so sad that this card sees no play in any decks that can use it, because this card is actually really good. Side deck is just kind of more pieces of stuff that you could put in the deck, and typical side deck shenanigans. Triple Lancia, triple Ash. You could definitely fit triple Ash in this deck. I just felt like I wanted to have the lower monster count to go with the Card of Demise, so I put Ash on the side for this. And then Floodgate City. 3, there can be only 1s, 3 Gozens, 3 Rivalry. Super simple stuff. This deck is basically Floodgate.deck. I'm sorry, Bujins, that's what happened. As much as I love you, you became Floodgate.deck. But, you know, going forward, where can Bujins go? So, the last time a Bujin had relevancy was Bujin Hiroko, and that was fucking shit, that was 2 years ago. 2017 with triple grass formats, where you could do a double Kagasuchi play in Lightsworns using Hiroko and Broad Bowls. I miss those days. I honestly do. Not as much as I miss the Spiral days that came later, but I do miss those days. You know, if the meta gets to a point, if it gets to the Dark Magician point that I bring up, where it magically slows down enough that you can just do what you want in a game without having to worry about, am I gonna die this turn? I could see Bujins coming back and doing something. You know, not on a grand scale. You know, maybe take a top 32 at a regional if they got really lucky. This card right here, the Spell Mining Cave, is definitely something to keep an eye out for. So keep it in the backside of your head, because this card isn't coming out here until like April or May. But when it comes out, this card is amazing. Like, it took people, I think, 2 years to figure out that Magical Midbreaker Shield was a good card. I don't want to see how long it's going to take them to figure out that this is a good card. You get what I'm saying. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. We went on kind of long. Like, subscribe. Check us out on TCGPlayer, Sora Online. Next week, we're going to try to have either a Lunalight or a Harpy deck profile. It's more than likely going to be the Lunalight one. It depends on, you know, if we can get this stuff as soon as we can. Lunalight stuff's on the way. Harpy stuff might take a while. Worst case scenario, we'll do a Harpy deck profile on here. And going forward, we can start pushing out more deck profiles of cool stuff on here. You know, I got some cool stuff in the pipeline, as you can see. Anyways, guys, we'll be seeing you. Peace.